Section 4. You will hear a scientist giving a talk about the effects of climate change to a group of students. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello everyone. As a representative from the National Centre for Atmospheric Research, I've been asked to speak to you today about the effects of climate change. People almost always associate the effects of climate change with extreme weather phenomena, such as violent storms, severe droughts, and heat waves. Recently, however, health risks have also been associated with the effects of climate change. According to the World Health Organization, human ailments that have come about as a result of climate change are currently causing 1/3 of the deaths around the globe, with people living in developing countries most affected. But how does climate change negatively affect our health, you may be wondering? Well, it's really quite simple. You see, climate change has led to a rise in temperature and humidity levels in natural environments. A rise that has created conditions that are favourable for the proliferation and spread of pathogens, microscopic organisms that cause disease. The spread of pathogens is being closely monitored, and many scientists are now trying to find ways to control it. Despite their attempts, we have witnessed an increase in the number of deadly tropical diseases over the last few decades. Malaria, for instance, is one such disease. It kills about 650,000 people a year and thrives in hot and humid areas where the mosquito that spreads it lives. And as the global climate warms, these mosquito-friendly zones are expected to expand, putting even more people at risk. I must point out that these climate-related diseases will not only affect humans, but plants and animals as well. In fact, the future impact of climate change is likely to be even greater on wildlife and agricultural systems, which don't adapt as quickly as human beings do. In the Arctic, for example, which is warming faster than any other region on the planet, higher temperatures are allowing parasites like the lungworm to develop faster and survive for longer periods of time. This parasite afflicts a species of ox, which lives primarily in the Arctic. It invades the animal's lungs and causes bronchitis and pneumonia. Elsewhere, in the Caribbean for instance, warmer water temperatures have weakened the immune systems of vulnerable corals, leaving them less able to fight off infections from pathogenic fungi and bacteria. Consequently, whole species of coral have been lost to the spread of disease. And since corals are the building blocks of marine ecosystems, many other species further up the food chain may very well be wiped out as well. These are just a few examples of how climate change is likely to affect the world we live in. Many plants and animals won't be able to adapt to the changing temperatures and will become endangered, or worse still, extinct. Human beings, on the other hand, especially those living in developed countries, will quickly learn to adapt to a warmer, more parasite-ridden world. Nevertheless, because all the individual parts of our ecosystem are interrelated, climate change will inevitably have negative consequences for the human race. Countless articles have been written and television documentaries aired, which inform us that human activity, mainly the burning of fossil fuels, is the major cause of climate change. It can be slowed and even stopped, however, with practical actions that will yield a cleaner, healthier environment. The question is, will we act soon enough? A significant degree of global warming and sea level rise is already evident, and the longer we wait to do something about it, the more difficult it will be to deal with the consequences. Therefore, we should all concentrate on conserving energy and minimizing our use of fossil fuels immediately. In this way, we will help stop plant and animal species dying out and prevent outbreaks of diseases. So, it should be said one more time. It is ultimately up to each one of us to take action to stop global warming through everyday awareness of our energy use. And once we stop it, who knows? We might even manage to reverse it one day. Now, before I move on, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Does anyone have anything to...
That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the listening answer sheet.